Hi everyone, thank you for joining. Today we're going to be doing week number 3 of January. We are going to be unstuffing for the second week of January and then putting in $1,103 for the third week. So let's get started. Okay, so let's rearrange this a little bit. Let me think. Oh wait, no, actually, first we're going to do our unstuffing. Again, I said I'm totally out of practice with all of this. So let me get some change real quickly. All right, so I have some ones here. I'm going to take maybe 15 and ones and $5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then I am going to grab a 5 because I think I might need a 5. Okay, so that means we'll have $20 in cash that I'll have to remove after I unstuff some of these envelopes. So again, we have some new people here. I unstuff my envelopes because I use a credit card for most of my expenses. I still do cash stuffing so that I can track how much I'm spending. That's the one thing I realized with credit card is that it's so easy to rack up a lot of charges. And so therefore I do cash stuffing to just try to keep myself better on track. So first up, let me just filter. I do everything on my iPad when I do my calculations. So I think what we're first going to do is kids. So that's in my invest binder. So we had a really big expense for kids. We're going to take it out of athletics. So we have a bed and breakfast up in northern Michigan, which is really close to one of the local ski resorts. And so my kids do participate in some private lessons there because that is one thing that my husband grew up doing and I did not. I do kind of regret never learning how to ski when I was younger. So we had some private lessons for them, and that is going to be $285. That's so much for skiing. It's very, very expensive. So let's see, 50, 70, 80, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 85, and then I want to take out 200. So let's see, do I want 50s or 100s? Let me do 50s. So here we go. So the benefit of why we do the private lessons is because then they are in a smaller group setting with other kids. 50, 100, 50, 200, 50, 70, 80, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that is it for here. So it was so cute seeing them in their little gear, and then we actually know the instructors personally, so that was another reason why we decided to go with it, is because we do know the instructors and trust them. And so again, it is very expensive. Skiing is a very expensive sport in my opinion. It's not something we do very often, but my husband will take the kids and go skiing. All right, so next up we are going to do gas. So we spent $115 in gas this week. So 120 and get back a 5. Groceries is going to be $81. So let's see, 50, 70, 80. 1. Milk delivery is going to be $22. So let's see if we have the 2s. Oh, we do. Maybe we didn't need too much change this time. So 22. Eating out is $51. So this one's really great. It was pizza and ice cream. So very cheap this week. 50. Hold on. 101. So I will get a 50 back. There we go. So very, very happy about that. The next one is going to be subscriptions. So subscriptions is $40. That is for a monthly car wash. It's unlimited automatic car wash, and for Netflix, which Netflix now for us is about $15.50, I think. And I honestly remember back in the day when it was, I don't know, maybe $4.99, something like that. And granted, you had like the 2 DVDs that you had to mail back and forth, but it's kind of, I complain that it goes up in price, but it's kind of still amazing that it hasn't gone up more, I guess. I don't know. I go back and forth on thinking it's expensive and it's not expensive. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think that the prices have increased on par with, the economy, or do you think it's too much and you want to cancel, or are you thinking that it's a really good value? I'm curious to hear. Gifts is going to be $33, so I need $17 back. Okay. So 10, I'll just do 7 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this was for another thing that I'm surprised at how expensive it is. We do birthday donuts. It was my dad's birthday, and the charge didn't come in until after the first week. So this is counting as the second week. But it was just Dunkin' Donuts. It was a dozen Dunkin' Donuts, and it was a bunch of the little donut holes. And it came out to 32 something and change. I mean, it was just, I kind of think, these aren't like specialty donuts. These are just your standard Dunkin' Donuts, like, I don't want to say gas station donuts, but like Dunkin' Donuts, I mean, they're good, but they're not anything super fancy. So I just was kind of shocked that they were that much. I don't know. We'll see. All right, so that is it. We should have a total of $627 that we're going to put back in the bank. I'm going to take out a 20 right away because that's what I use to make cash, to make change in the beginning. So this should be what, 627. Okay, so 100, 200, 253, 354, 450, 500, 20, 40, 60, 80, 600, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. $627. Perfect. So I'm going to put this off to the side, and that is what we will take back to the bank. All right, resetting. Okay. So what we are stuffing this week should be $1,103. So let's see. 1, 2, 350, 450, 550, 650, 700, 720, 40, 60, 80, 800, 20, 40, 60, 80, 900, 20, 40, 60, 80, 1,000, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1,100, 1, 2, and 3. All right. So I used to never pay attention to how many 50s I had when I was counting these out, but now when I do my planning, I actually try to make it so that the 50s are even. Does anybody else get kind of thrown when you're counting out your money and you have an odd 50? It kind of drives me crazy. So, all right. Okay, so starting at the top with our sinking funds. All right, so this week gas is going to get $100. We are pretty much gas guzzlers, although we don't have gas guzzling type cars really, but my husband does do a lot of driving. So 120, 40, 55. Groceries is also going to get 100. So 120, 5, 6, and 7. I'm finding that groceries is another tough area for me to keep within budget. Milk delivery is $30. So 20, 30, 45. My family loves to eat. We love to eat. We love to cook. I like to cook really good food as well as like really cheap foods at times. So like we will definitely have like the fancy ramen dinner where, we just make a big pot of noodles and then I will soft boil some eggs, cut up some veggies, whatever. But then we also like to, have steaks and short ribs is another favorite and, things like that. So it's hard. Sometimes you really want to get like all the fancy cheeses and, everything at the grocery really has gone up. Like, for example, I was looking at like heavy whipping cream, right? Just something I didn't think was that expensive a few years ago is now all of a sudden like over $7. So anyways, that's expensive around where we are. Eating out is going to get $50. So it's just all those little things that add up, right? Like it's easy to see when eggs are expensive, but when it's eggs and milk and cheese and, you know, all of your basic staples, I mean, it really does add up. 50, 70, 90, 100, 10, and 11. Household is going to get 50. So household now has 150, 250, 300, 20, 40, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58. So $358 for household. And this is for incidentals like batteries, light bulbs. Kind of depends sometimes, like maybe if I'm buying detergent or toilet paper, I might throw it under household or I might throw it under groceries. It just kind of depends on how the budgets are doing that week. Vehicle, oops. Yes, vehicle is getting stuffed. So this is gonna get $85. So 50, 20, no, 50, 70, 85. And I mentioned before that we had a couple of car totals from accidents. So our insurance has really gone up in the last year, understandably. So we are working on just weathering that storm and then also calling around to get it back down. So 50, 100, 50, 70, 90, 210, 20, 30, 40, 45, 50, 55. Vehicle maintenance will get $50. So 50, 100, 50, 200, 20, 40. Subscriptions is going to get 15. So 10, 15. So 10, 20, 5. Gifts will get 50. So I think we're going to be saving up now for my husband's birthday. 20, 40, 50. 20, 40, 50, 60, 61, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think what he's been wanting is kind of a practical gift / boring gift, but because he does a lot of driving and he has glasses, he wants prescription sunglasses. So I think that's what we're going to do for his birthday. Holiday is going to get 25. 25. So 20, 40, 65, 75. This one I think is Valentine's for the kids. My husband and I don't really do anything, but we'll probably cook a nice meal. So that might come out of holidays. It might come out of groceries. Next one up is, oops, that is it for this binder this week. Perfect. Somebody asked me too, you know, how do I determine, you know, weekly versus monthly? And it really kind of depends. I try to keep my cash stuffing, not the placeholders, around the same each week. And so sometimes when I do that, I cash stuff certain categories more in the early weeks because I know I'll need to spend it, such as gas or groceries. And then in the later weeks, I hope that I kind of saved earlier and will have enough. So that's why in week 3, I'm doing 100 instead of 150 for some of those. And then also kind of depending on that, I might not stuff something like maybe something for the kids or, you know, maybe fashion or grooming, hair, things like that for myself or my husband until the later weeks, just to kind of spread out so that's not like a huge cash stuffing at the beginning of the month and then nothing at the end of the month. Okay, next up is invest. So no placeholders this week, so skipping all of those investments and going right to kids. So kids is going to get $50. And I put kids here just kind of because I didn't want to put them in sinking funds for some reason. I just thought maybe this is investments for the kids. So $50 gift card, 50, 70, 90, 110, 130, 140, 150. So $150 in cash for the kids and a $50 gift card to Old Navy that I used by collecting fetch points, which is where you scan your receipts. And then can turn those into gift cards. I like to get pants for my kids because I have 3 boys and they wear the knees out of those pants so quickly. Allowance is going to get $13, so that should be all these ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And somebody asked me about what categories I do for kids. So I know there's a lot of blogs and articles and stuff out there for kids where you do 3 categories. I think it's like give, spend, and save. And we actually, I'm going to run through this. I've done this before, but for the people who are new here, we actually do 4 categories, and I'll explain why. So we have basically, so we have the save, that is the same. We have give, which is something that I have the kids save up for, and it is basically gifts for the family. So if it's Christmas or birthday, we give them a set amount that they can spend on that person. So most recent example is Christmas. We gave my kids the limit of $15 to spend on each of their brothers. And I also told them that they could combine their limits together. So my 2 oldest combined to have $30 to buy something for the youngest one. I think because they wanted the gift themselves, but they said it was for their little brother. It was like a little tabletop air hockey game. So, but I wanted them to start getting used to spending like their own money, and also to start thinking about how much things cost and having a limit. And so my 2 oldest kids now have binders, and they get an allowance for $1 for each year, so 8 and 5, and then they have to split them up across these 4 categories. So when it's 8, it's easy. It's $2 per category. We split it directly down by 4. But we had a little bit of different, like if for 5-year-olds, sometimes I'll give 4 quarters for $1 so that he can split it up equally in 4. Sometimes as a parent, I just say, okay, we're going to add the extra $1 to the first category, and then next week we'll add it to the second. So, I help them kind of divide it. Fun is the envelope that they can spend this money on whatever they want. I want them to learn about making bad purchases. Like I want them to say, oh, if I spent all of my money on buying some candy and I don't have any money to buy a little toy, like that's how I chose to spend my money. Or if I bought a toy that mommy knew was going to break in 2 seconds, this little cheap plastic thing, that's kind of like a lesson learned without too much risk, right? So their fun is what they can use whatever they want it on. I don't do anything to curb it. Like I want them to learn to make mistakes with fun. And then goal is something where I say to them that it's something they want, but it costs more. So for example, my oldest son has used goal to buy some bigger Lego sets, and he's also used it to buy around Halloween time. They are obsessed with Halloween decorations. So he will buy some of those animatronic type moving characters for Halloween that you can put out in your yard, or like the big blow up ghosts and things like that. So I'd say, those things have been anywhere from $50 to $100 that he's saved up for. And I want him to be able to have a goal to set and also attain. Whereas fun is kind of like that money, it's kind of like what I would use for just buying Starbucks during the week, right? Whereas goal is something I would save up for. So those are the 4 categories that I use for my kids. Obviously lots of people have different philosophies with how they teach their kids money, but the one thing I would say to everybody is if the sooner you can teach your kids something about money and saving and budgeting, while keeping it fun, I think is really beneficial. I don't think we get enough education in schools about it. Definitely not. And beyond learning how to count money in elementary school, which is what my kids are doing and obviously have surpassed. Okay. Getting back to the envelopes, academics is going to get $25. So this one I think I'm going to take to the bank pretty soon and put a placeholder in. But 100, 2, 3, 4, 500, 20, 40, 60, 65, 70, 75. And let me know when you guys bring your money back to the bank and you placeholder it to save it in the bank so that it can get a little bit of interest. Do you have separate little accounts, or do you put it in one big bank account? So I do online banking with SoFi Bank. And the one thing that I really like is they have, a savings area that they call vaults. And so I can set up multiple vaults for basically each of these categories. So right now I have a kids vault that I'm going to probably convert either to academics or athletics. Or actually right now it is athletics, but it's just called kids right now. I might rename it to athletics. And then I also have one for medical, and I also have one for like travel. So let me know in the comments what banks you use that kind of enables you to have that similar setup, or if you just combine all of your money into one big bank account so that you see all the interest growing, in one big lump sum instead of like little amounts on each of those vaults, let me know. All right, and then athletics is going to get $50. So we got 500 in the bank, like I said, the SoFi vault that I call kids. 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000, 50, 1,100, and 1. And that is after removing the ski lessons. So that is it for the investment. We're going to move on to my husband's binder. These binders are still so stiff. Okay, so personal is going to be $20. So 20, 40, 50, 60, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then next up is going to be sartorial. So that is also going to get $20. So 20 and 30. Then it's my binder. So first up is going to be my personal, which is going to be, let's see, $25. So I did take $15 cash out of here, which I did not unstuff because I just took the cash out and used it. And it was a tip for getting a massage. I get lymphatic massages to help with some aftercare of since I had my surgery. So 20, 45, 51. Next up is going to be hair. So hair is going to get $10. So $20 for hair. Beauty is going to get $20. So 20, 40, 60. And professional dues is going to get $100. So for my job, I don't necessarily need the professional dues, but I am a classically trained lawyer. I don't practice law, but I do keep my bar licenses up to date. So that's what those professional dues pay for. Okay, so now we're going to go to savings challenges. We're going to do our back to school, which is a box challenge. And this week we are going to be saving $50. So let me see. Okay, right here. That's right. I reorganized these to be biggest amount to smallest. So $50 here. All right. Next up is going to be my 52-week challenge, which is going to be $40. And these are unmarked. It's just whatever I'm able to allocate for that week to save. Although I do try to do more than 25, just so that's extra fun at the end. And it feels like I'm actually really making a commitment to saving. Okay. I don't know, last year I used the money that I had saved in this challenge for some clothes because I knew from my surgery I was going to need different sizes. So that was a lot of fun. I did use that money to go buy some new jeans. I basically ended up having a hysterectomy and had a very large fibroid removed. I mean, it was like the size of a basketball. So that really impacted my waist. And so that was very fun and exciting after recovering, being able to go out and buy a couple pairs of pants and stuff. All right, next up is kids' birthdays. That's in this binder at the back. So this is one of the old traditional savings challenges where you have a little tracker that you can color in. So this week we are going to be saving $50. So we have 50, 70, 90, 95, 100. And that is going to be coloring in, let me see, one of these little bricks. Okay. And then for January, the third week is going to be $75. So I've set up these 12-month challenges as 4 weeks. I know some months have 5 weeks, but since my paycheck is on a bi-monthly thing, I've just kept it to 4. And then when there's an extra 5th week, it doesn't really affect me, but it's just kind of nice to have the predictability of 4 weeks. So 75. And I won't count this because by the end it should have 245, so I will count that at the end of the month. All right, so that is it for this video. Thank you everybody for stopping by. I had a couple questions throughout the video, so leave a comment if you have any, advice you'd like to share or how you like to set things up with your bank accounts and things like that. Thank you again for checking back in. If you have any questions too for me, whether it be related to my budgets or why I do things a certain way, or if you'd like to know a little bit more about what I've been doing on my time off, feel free to share. Obviously, please know that I might not answer everything just depending on the nature of it, but I appreciate everybody's interest and best wishes and welcome backs. So thank you so much. I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.